I want to grade Nebraska's transfer portal haul. What else is needed? And let's start at that, because we know of at least potentially 2 more plus type players and situations to watch. Jonah Wilson, the wide receiver from Houston, who we fully expect, and I wrote this today, to be a part of the program. The reason why Nebraska has not announced him as a signee is I believe he'll come in as a walk-on. There's still, it's kind of funny to say this, but they're still kind of constrained by that 105 limit, or sorry, the 85 limit.
85 scholarship.
Because the 105 thing doesn't start until July. So, there is kind of a numbers crunch overall, how they might have to add a player.
But he's not he's not coming in as a traditional walk-on.
No.
Right.
I mean, he's coming in. He'll be he'll have full NIL payment, and then he'll go on the 105 is my guess, is how it will play out with him.
There he is right there, Jonah Wilson.
Jonah Wilson, and he's a Dana Holgerson highly ranked recruit that, redshirted his first year at Houston, played a little bit this year. 9
catches, 54 yards.
But a big body. That 6'1", 190 is not correct. He's over 6'3".
Yeah, he's bigger.
He's way bigger than 6. I don't know how we have him on there, but
205 is what I've seen. 6'3", 205.
Yeah, big bodied receiver that they're bringing in. But the offensive line, Sip, that they want at least one more piece. Shiaz Pete from New Mexico State continues to be the coveted piece that Nebraska, Michigan, Kentucky, Stanford, and even Vanderbilt are all teams being mentioned for Shiaz Pete.
Nebraska wants him bad. He's okay. So we're doing this on Monday. What time is it? Almost noon. Holding pattern. Shiaz Pete's in a holding pattern. He's not, he's not particularly verbal. He's not out there doing interviews or anything like that. Hard to get a hold of for a lot of people. So you don't know. We don't know what's going through his mind. There's all kinds of different theories on what's going on with Shiaz Pete. But I'll tell you this, he's a day one left tackle starter. That's what he is. He's starting at left tackle on day one.
So then Elijah
Pritchard. Oh, God, I did it again. That's not fair to Gunner.
What about Elijah Pritchard? Is he your right?
That's what I think.
He played right for Alabama, so that makes sense.
So Gunner Gatula started 9 games. Left tackle.
For the injured Turner Corcoran, who also returns.
Yeah, and Teddy Prohaska. So I'm just handing guys jobs. But I'm just handing Shiaz Pete that job. That's just what I hear. You'd be paying him $1 million plus. You're not really paying him $1 million plus to come in and back up anybody, right?
I will say, though, the protection was good this year for the line. They did a good job.
They did. The line had a pretty good
year.
I
do think, though, Raiola's he's not a runner, as you know. So teams don't load up and bring heat at him as much as we saw when Heinrich Harburg was a starter. You didn't really respect his passing, so you just brought heat at him. Where Raiola got a lot of 4-man rush.
Oh, yeah.
People blitzed him, though. But I think when the line sees a 4-man rush, you're blocking 5 on 4. You should be able to win, and sometimes 6 on 4 when the running back's involved.
I just want to go back to Shiaz Pete. He's gigantic in this.
6'8", 320.
Yeah, I mean gigantic. He would be a gigantic. Yeah, he's gigantic, literally and figuratively. He would be okay. Can I sell you this? If Nebraska would get him, he would be their most important portal piece. That's the way I view it.
I know just the people that saw him in person were like, whoa, like just
unicorn.
No, Isaiah World was that way too when he came here.
Yeah,
same type of deal.
Yep.
But yeah, let's get into so right now.
Hold on, Shiaz Pete and Elijah Pritchett. Now they're not, but you say you don't think they're done.
Well, I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday is going to be interesting to watch because there's a window to bring in some visitors before classes start for second semester. So if they miss out on Pete, or even if they don't miss out on Pete, could they scramble to add another offensive lineman visitor?
How about an interior guy?
Well, that's what we'll be watching. I mean, and I'm not going to give up our names, but I do think, that's something to watch what they'll do on the offensive line. Because I do think they could bring in another name this week. They're full though. I mean, they're at numbers. They're full and they've spent a lot of money. I mean, 2 things to note.
Yeah. So let's nail this down. They're not bringing in 3 more guys. 2 maybe.
Well,
Right?
and we're counting Jonah Wilson in the boat.
Yeah.
So it would be the dream scenario would be Shiaz, Pete, and maybe one more.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're aligned. We're aligned.
I think we'll see where that goes. But in general, yeah, another interesting thing about this portal group is still to me is that they have 4 defensive backs coming in. 4.
Justin Rhett, Jameer Khan, and
Andrew Marshall. And then the latest addition they just picked up.
Hyphenation.
Yeah, Marquise. Now, why am I blanking on his name here? Sorry, let me go to the front page.
I blew it.
Killebrew.
Yeah.
Groves Killebrew. Marquise Groves Killebrew.
Groves Killebrew
is the 4th. And I think there's a lot of different takes on why they're doing this, but what I've been told is they want competition. They want dudes. And, we assume now Deshaun Singleton is coming back. And then you have Sierra Wright coming back. So technically there's 4 starting level players returning with Malcolm Hartsock and Marquise Buford. But did those guys have elite seasons? That's what you got to ask yourself. And are they going to bring in some guys to kind of push those players to see where it goes?
Nebraska slid to 65th nationally in pass defense. Okay. Now that's all defense discussion. I mean, that's not just secondary, but a lot's on the secondary. And you hear a lot of talk that's accurate. They play really soft coverage a lot of the time, right? There's a lot of soft coverage. Guys just got beat too. You just saw guys get
50-50 balls were not 50-50.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there are a lot of 80-20s that should be 50-50s.
So I think they've identified that as an area where we got to get better. 65th pass defense. That's not championship. You can win a championship with the 65th rated pass defense, but it's hard. It'd be harder to do, obviously.
Yeah, just think about the back-breaking third downs at Indiana. Tommy Hill, it's 14-7.
Don't get me started.
You're 3rd and 8, and Tommy Hill is on an island with more of a cushion, and he gives up a big play, and then Indiana goes on and just blow the doors off. But Nebraska is going to get the ball back in a 14-7 game. That's a situational.
Too many.
And then the UCLA game with Jeremiah Charles out there on those early third downs.
Just it wasn't Charles' fault.
But they had him out there for his first real playing time because Tommy Hill had his issues.
But it wasn't like they started shutting UCLA down when Charles went off the field.
And there were multiple 3rd and longs and they were 50-50 at best situations.
I've referenced this. You were angry. You were angry in the press box.
Because it was they get UCLA had like 4 third down conversions on the first couple, big ones.
I know. Trust me, I remember.
And I'm like, God, Nebraska, because at that point, losing that game, you're like, they're not going to a bowl now.
See, if we just listen, I always tell people, listen to yourself. We're answering the question of why they brought in 4 DBs.
And why they
We're answering the question.
And why they made a switch at offensive coordinator and
defensive coordinator.
And why they've made it, why things switched up there, because that UCLA game changed everything.
Well, no, I want to make something.
Tony White wasn't pushed out,
right? Right. I don't think he was, right.
But was it a health? The question is, was it a health? I mean, was it healthy at that point?
You wonder.
And you just don't really know going into that bye week how healthy were the discussions, because at that point after UCLA, the thought of not making a bowl was real.
It's a crushing loss
because they had to beat Wisconsin, who they'd only had beaten one time in the history of the Big Ten before this year.
Oh, I guarantee it wasn't fun in the offices.
That Wisconsin game was bigger than you could put in perspective when you think about it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huge win.
But that
huge win.
This team, as we talked about, got 6-6.
And they got 7-6.
7-6 final record, but they had more potential to be better than that. And that, after the bowl game, I was told that Bill O'Brien said to Nebraska, he's like, your 2 guys, Hutmacher and Robinson, were unreal. He's like, we couldn't do anything. Like, really? They completely took us out. Like, remember that bet I made on my prediction about the 100-yard? I mean, Boston College was a team that always went for like 150 to 200 rushing every game.
What'd they get?
Nowhere near 100.
You won that bet?
Yes. I mean,
damn it. Yeah. I mean, those are big losses.
But you think about,
those are huge losses.
They made that defense against the run look so much better.
See, the question is, I mean, I certainly don't see a Ty Robinson out coming back. I mean, Van Poppel, you hope is a reasonable facsimile. Like Keona Davis is not that type of player. Judy's not that type of player. I'm just talking in terms of size and impact. They're just, that's going to be hard.
Fifth
to
and 6th year defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Don't grow on trees.
No, they don't. Now, Keona Davis in his 5th year might be a monster.
It takes 5 or 6 years to grow a tree.
Right. Right. Yes. So
they come to you as little sticks and then they grow. I mean, it takes a while. Like
100.
Ty Robinson.
No, he wasn't a big time player as a sophomore.
Hey, Ty Robinson could have played on almost any era of Nebraska football team and been a good player.
Yep.
He just happened to be on a team, obviously, teams that weren't great. But Nash and Ty were good enough to play on any era of team at Nebraska.
Yep.
Obviously.
For sure. Yeah, for sure, Ty. So, I mean, that's hard to replace. We'll see what happens.